Hello everyone, my name is Noah. You can call me the Plant Man. Today's episode I'm just going to be giving you a rundown, showing you what's new in the plant room. I have a couple new plants that I'm excited to get. I just have to run to Toronto first and then come back. And after that, I'll be telling you, as I'm going through, talking about things like the Latin names and a little more about each plant. I intend to tell you a little bit about what's going on in my personal life and give you guys some insight on what my professional life is like. So without further ado, let's get into it. So I think right now is a cool opportunity to just go through, give you a quick sneak peek. Alright, over here, these are some holiday cactus. In the back we have Christmas cactus. In the front we have a Thanksgiving cactus. The cool thing about them is they're both from the same area, from Brazil. The Latin name on them is Schlumbergera. I don't know the actual difference in the names here, but between the Thanksgiving and the Christmas, but they're both in the Schlumbergera family. This one is a elephant's bush, variegated elephant bush. The name on that is Portucaria afra variegata. I think I mentioned earlier that you can eat it. Apparently it has a good taste. I'm not so keen on that. This one is the propeller plant, also called Crassula falcata. This is also in the Crassula family. This one is Crassula ovata variegata, because it's variegated. So if I ever say variegata, it's the Latin word for variegated, which just means that it has a mutation where the pigment isn't all there, right? It's missing some of the chlorophyll in certain areas, and that's what gives it the name variegata. Also in French called panache. This one is a Joseph's coat prickly pear cactus. The name on that is Apuntia monocanthos. Just pushing out a new pad. Gonna have to take some pictures of that. To me, that looks like there might be some scale or something. So I'm gonna go to my cactus group and see what they can't help me with. Something cool right here. This is a bug zapper. So you see it has that bug light on and those little wires. When that light goes on, it frickin' zaps you. I put my finger on there and it was really big regret. It frickin' hurt. And I believe it's gonna be charging from my grow light, so hopefully that works. But all this is growing out nice. There's little tips going all around, starting to branch out. But the thing is, the growth is really odd. I'm not sure if that was from when I initially had spider mites on it, but it's not looking very promising. So I'm gonna go to another one of my groups and just talk it out. There's a lot of people who are way more knowledgeable than myself. The name on this is a pineapple guava, also called the Feijoa suellowiana. This one's a Brugmansia, also called an angel's trumpet. This would be a Brugmansia variegata. I don't know the kind of Brugmansia it is. They have a hardy version that I've heard of. I don't know what zone it's hardy to. I think maybe zone 6 possibly. But this one's definitely the tropical version. I just love the leaves. That like almost holly-like shape. Has the like spiky edge. Like that's so pretty. And as it gets towards the top, it's a little more yellow, and then as the leaves grow out, they're more white along the edge. This is the red custard apple. This is probably one of my favorite plants. So it produces a big fruit, probably about the size of at least two fists together, and it has a really nice custard-like consistency. That's why it has the name red custard apple, and it's also red. Unlike, I believe there's a green one that's white on the inside. This one's red and red on the inside, which is pretty interesting. This is the Melpedia marginata, I think. And yeah, on here some Spanish moss. I'm not sure what that is. The Latin name of Spanish moss is. I've actually never looked it up. It's flowering profusely. I'm gonna put it in a bigger pot so that it actually holds onto those flowers, and the fruits will mature. So whoever gets it will end up, you know, reaping the bounty. Here's a pink princess. This is the newest leaves that just emerged. I'm a little bit bummed out because it's kind of just a little bit here and then a couple spots, but at the same time, it's a beautiful dark form philodendron. You know, you can't help but just not love it. And then that plant is going to be given away at 100 subscribers with the Zanzibar gem, or the ZZ plant. The Latin name on the ZZ plant is Zamioculcas zamifolia. And then the Latin name on the pink princess philodendron is Philodendron arubescens. Here's Ficus carica, also known as the tiger panache fig. That's a variegated fruit, regular leaf fig. It's a little bit of a long season fig, so I believe they can ripen in Toronto and in BC, but some people don't always have the greatest success with that, so it's all part and parcel to how well you can grow a fig, I believe. This is a sugarloaf pineapple, also called Annona comosus. So that's a white core pineapple, meaning that the inside, or white flesh pineapple, the inside is totally white, has an edible core. So I don't need to cut the center out. I can just cut the skin off of it and slice it up and eat it whole, which is kind of cool. These are jujubes. The name of jujube, or also called Chinese red dates, is Ziziphus jujuba. So I'm gonna have to separate these soon. They're gonna start getting big enough that they can possibly go outside, which is great. I'll grow them outside in a safe spot until they get big enough, and then I'll transplant them to where their home will be permanently. So yeah, pretty proud of the fact that I was able to grow these from seed. Yeah, try my best to continue to grow them. So this big guy in the back, one of my favorite plants. This is the Monstera deliciosa with a sport mutation, green on green. So it's variegated green on green. It's just missing a single layer of chlorophyll, giving it that nice, almost light green appearance. Not quite a mint though, but still a nice contrast. Here is the Thai constellation, the new leaf that it's just put out. I was waiting for this to unfurl to do the video. I love how it is. It looks like almost like you're going in hyperspeed in space. And that's going to darken up over time. It might even get a little bit larger, and the stem might grow out longer, but at the same time it might not, just because I believe I have a bit of a stronger grow light than the person who I got this from. So you can see that this is kind of looked like it was almost stretching, but at the same time I could be dead wrong. This is a plant that fruits. The name deliciosa actually means delicious. old man cactus. They're doing pretty good. I watered them for the first time last week. Here's a couple prism cactus or agave cactus. I got another one. This is probably one of my new favorite plants. So it's a grafted cactus. It's a Lophophora williamsi. It's Chaos Spitosa variegata. It's a mature specimen, so it's gonna be definitely potentially flowering in the near future. But yeah, it's absolutely amazing. It was a little more than I wanted to pay for it, but I think I still got a pretty good deal. You can't really beat a plant like that. And there's a close second. This is a San Pedro cactus variegated. So this one's like a columnar cactus. It'll just keep growing up and up and up and up. This one will just grow in a cluster. Eventually, when the graft starts to die, which probably won't be for a while, I can either cut that off and regraft it, or I can let it calcify, and then you put it on the soil and you let it grow its own root system, and then it can support itself because it's got enough green on there. Super stoked about those. Variegated basil, super delicious. Like I said, it grows in a almost like a little tree habit. It'll just keep splitting at the top once it gets a little taller, and it'll be like a lollipop shape. I personally love it. Makes some of the best pesto, and it's a really light mint color. It's not like your usual basil where it's that very deep green. So here's some dill. That's gonna be one of the plants that I put into the garden bed. Probably gonna put some around my house too, just so that it can kind of be naturalized. A lot of people don't like dillweed, but it's definitely a weed. It can easily become a problem in some areas. It's also pretty manageable because once it comes up, you just gotta make sure that you get it before it goes to seed again, and you should be okay. Just keep pulling dill plants. Here's a canna lily from seed. Doing really nice. Hopefully it has some kind of cool color flower. Like instead of a red, it has like an orange flower. I'd be really happy about that. Come over here. There's a Hindu ropoya. Oh no. I think these need some water. These orchid cactus are growing out nice and full, just the way that I want it. Very happy with that. It almost looks like right here it's gonna push out another branch soon because it's getting a little bit thicker. That's what usually happens. The stem, when it goes to support another section, like another stem section, it'll actually form like that central vein right in the area where that stem is going to be. So I hope I explained that okay. Then this one's going to be going to my brother. Here's the agave cactus that I'm trying to reroot myself. That fell off. Oh, frick. Well, that's not good. This orchid's putting on a new leaf, and this leaf's still growing real nice. I gotta give this a nice spritz. The roots on these photosynthesize, which I didn't really know. And then this guy's gonna be added to the collection. Here's a couple more cactus that I'm very, very happy about. Here's another Lophophora williamsi. This one's about to flower. I'll be able to tell if it's actually a williamsi by the flower, or if it's like a diffusa or something else like that. But it's nice because it's starting to pup, and that's not very common for this variety at least. So I'm pretty happy about that. You guys can see my hands. I think it's a good time to just take a quick intermission and talk about that. So recently I've started a business. I've started a gardening business, and it's taken off quite nicely. I'm consistently getting a lot of clients. I believe I'm doing a good job. Eventually, I would like to start making videos of before and after, or kind of talking about the garden work that I'm doing, but I don't want it to take away from the work that I do. So that's going to be a bit of a learning curve, and hopefully that all becomes one cohesive thing. But if it doesn't, I'm not too worried about it. I think the biggest thing is focusing on making these videos when I can, which is most likely on Sundays. And then I can give you guys updates about my life and stuff like that. And also throughout the rest of the week, I'm focusing on my business. On Mondays, I've been doing quoting, basically going around telling people what the job's gonna cost. And then the rest of the week, from Tuesday to Saturday, I'm working 10-hour days, doing gardening all by myself. So having a lot of fun doing that. The first week's been a little bit brutal. Literally got blisters all over my hands from working so hard. My other hand's not any better. And yeah, it's definitely been rewarding though. I've had a wonderful experience so far, and hopefully it continues to do well. I hope that me talking about this doesn't take away from my future success, because this has been honestly one of the greatest things that I believe has ever happened to me, aside from my girlfriend Sky, and having my family be happy and healthy, and there's a lot to be thankful for. But I think back to the plants. Enough of that sentimental stuff. This is called an Aztecium rhedorii. Very, very slow growing cactus. This Lophophora williamsi, or peyote cactus. This is a true peyote cactus, which same with this. This is a true peyote cactus. They're very, very slow growing. This one is so slow growing that it's been put on a rootstock that's a lot quicker growing. And so big roots, big shoots. The rootstock grows really, really quick, right? It had a big root system. They cut the top off. They put on a small piece of this. I could take one of these off by ripping it off, and then grafting it onto something like this, and I can grow this out probably, one third of the time. I don't know exactly how quickly, but a lot quicker. So definitely something that I want to get into, learning how to graft, especially plants with pups, because then I can take off the pups of these and graft them, and then I end up getting more and more cactus. Oh, feels good to stand up. My legs are falling asleep. Woo! A little bit of water on the ground with broken Gary. Oh. So right here, this is a torch cactus, a woolly torch cactus to be more specific. This is also a peyote, and a variegated peyote. So the reason why it's cool that I got this one and it's grafted, this one could only be like a year, maybe 2 years old. This one is a year old from seed, and it's variegated. Same age. those are the same type of cactus. So, really excited. Now I'm starting to get a little collection going. But I think the next thing for me to do is to start getting a little, almost like a rockscape going. I'm gonna have a really long, almost like a tray like this, and just fill it up with cactus soil, and then I'm gonna grow a variety of these kind of really rare cactus. All of these cactus are endangered because they're from poaching. In their natural range, they're almost non-existent. I'm not too sure about the San Pedro cactus, but I know for a fact that the peyote, the true peyote, the agave cactus or prism cactus, the Aztecium rhedorii, there's another one called Areocarpus. I think it's Areocarpus retusus or something like that. Yeah, so I'm gonna be hopefully expanding my collection nice and slow. Here's tobacco, a little bit of bug damage there, but the ones that don't show any bug damage, I'm gonna be using those as my main plants this year. I think I'm gonna grow one or two, maybe a few more, but yeah, I'm not a big tobacco smoker. I don't smoke cigarettes at all. Personally, I don't think I'm gonna be smoking the tobacco, but they also grow a really nice flower, and apparently the leaves become sticky, and certain insects can actually stick to them, so it might become like a beneficial attractor and hopefully it kills certain annoying insects. This is the Caucasian caper. Oh my goodness. The leaf is starting to push out, so hopefully that seed tip is going to come off. I don't want to force it at all because I've killed seedlings like that countless times. If you don't learn the first time, you'll definitely learn after, two or three times of killing a plant by doing that. So yeah, avoid doing that. I don't know what's going on with these peppers. I think that was originally, the bug bites, but I don't know for sure. It looks like they're not anymore, like non-existent. They're going away, and it's outgrowing it, but at the same time, it's very unsightly. I know that when I get them outside, they'll be fine. It's still bugging me. These are Welsh bunching onions, Soleil leeks, red Welsh bunching onions, zebra and shallots, and here's some holy basil. These peppers are called peach sugar rush peppers. Next year I'm gonna get striped peach sugar rush. Basically the pod has stripes on it. Definitely wanted that. I didn't even know that was a thing when I bought these, so definitely gonna make a bunch of powder from this for some chili powder so that I have some throughout the year, but I would like to transition to getting the other variety. These are all the Courbaki peppers. They're growing nice, and after I sprayed them, they're starting to push out nice healthy leaves with minimal bug damage. So definitely happy about that. You can even see them getting healthier. I believe the same thing here. I let these dry out a bit, the tomatoes, and they started dropping some leaves, so I'm gonna make sure that I maintain the water on these. I got a couple weeks left, like literally 2 weeks left before I can bring them outside. I might even be able to bring them outside a little bit sooner, but yeah, I'm super pumped. These right here are Aunt Molly's ground cherries, and they're already starting to flower. So I'm gonna have some ground cherries sooner than later. I'm really stoked about that. Here's one of the variegated tomatoes, and here's the other variegated tomato. The leaves are a little bit contorted. I think this one's a potato leaf, if I'm not mistaken. Oh. Lesson learned. Don't mess around with the leaves so much. So yeah, this guy, you see how it's drooping? A little bit discolored too, not so lush and green. These two definitely need water. This one is gonna need water soon. These ones are gonna need water soon. You can tell just because they're starting to droop, they're still lush and green. This one's starting to become a little bit of a darker, pale, a darker on the leaf tip, and then pale on the back. This one will just be a more uniform green when it's lush. And here's a cool plant. I'm not gonna tell you what that is. You can maybe guess. Maybe guess. This is rose root, a succulent. It's starting to grow a little bit bigger. When they get big enough, I'm going to transplant them to outside, just in my garden, and then I can actually start harvesting from them. Now, this is also an endangered plant. It's native range. From over harvesting because it's an adaptogen. Yeah, I think that pretty much concludes it. Hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. If you like the video, like the video. If you want to subscribe, subscribe. If you're interested in what I'm going to be doing with my job, I'm definitely going to be making videos like around that. If you'd like to see more videos about gardening, at the very end of this video, I'm going to post a little clip of the garden that I have at my girlfriend's parents' house. Sorry about the fan. It kicks on. It's a heater. It's just spitting out the heat right now. Yeah. I hope you all like this video, and take care.
Just want to give you all a sneak peek at the garden. Beets, onions, carrots, lettuce, peas, and then it's going to be cucumbers, tomatoes, and some more herbs, like some variegated basil, and maybe some dill.